How's it going, guys? Welcome to a video that is a little bit different to what I normally do on the channel. So today we are going to look at the top 10 mods you didn't know you needed on Farming Simulator 19. And when I say top 10, I actually mean top 11 because there's a bonus one at the end. Before we get going, I would like to say a big thank you to everyone who has been supporting the channel by watching my videos and subscribing. The channel has been growing quite substantially for a small channel in recent months. So if you are new, I would like to extend a warm welcome to you. And if you are very new and you haven't subscribed already, please consider doing so and also turning on the notification bell to be notified of my future uploads. With that said though, let's jump straight into it. At number 10, we have DEF mod, or Diesel Exhaust Fluid. So if we jump into our beautiful little fent here, in the bottom right hand corner you'll see quite a bit of information, but nothing about DEF. This is because it is an older tractor and doesn't require DEF. On the other hand, we have the much more modern and absolutely stunning John Deere 8RX. So if we jump into that, you'll see on the bottom right hand corner above the fuel gauge, we now have a DEF gauge. So the DEF mod is just an extra element to keep in mind on top of your fuel while running your equipment on the farm. And it just adds that extra bit of realism in Farming Simulator 19, which in my opinion is always going to be a good thing. At number 9, we have Place Anywhere. And this does exactly what it says on the tin. It allows you to place buildings and structures just about anywhere. So this is super handy when trying to place buildings very close to each other, or placing buildings back to each other, or simply trying to join up buildings so it looks like one big structure rather than a couple of small ones. As you can see here, I have placed down a second shed next to the existing one, and it makes it look like one big building with a divider in the middle, which means you can be quite creative with the way you set up your farm. Obviously, these two sheds are out of the same pack, so they do fit together quite well. And here you can see the back of the sheds lined up, giving it a nice clean appearance. So this mod is not just useful when trying to get creative with the layout of your farm, but also to keep your farm looking neat and tidy. But I think the biggest advantage of this mod is when you are playing on a map with a very small yard and you need to place buildings very close together to make the whole farmyard work. At number 8, we have the hand plant saplings. So this can be found in your store under miscellaneous, and you can place this box down just about wherever you want. So how this works is when you have placed your box down, you walk over to it, press R, pick up your shovel and your little bag, walk over to your saplings, pick those up, and now we are ready for planting. So this is obviously handy for planting trees individually in random locations rather than planting all of them in straight lines using the tractor mounted equipment. And also it allows you to plant trees in places like your garden where you're probably not going to fit a tractor anytime soon. At number 7, we have Straw Me, which is a fantastic mod that allows you to create straw swaths from corn, soybeans and canola, which is not possible in the base game. So this can be baled up and either be used for your animals or sold for a bit of extra money. At number 6, we have a real mower. So this is another great little mod which you probably wouldn't use that often, but when you do need it, it is a great mod to have. So what this does is when activated, it allows you to cut some of the bushes in the game that it wouldn't normally allow you to cut, as I will demonstrate now. So this is a great mod to have for getting rid of bushes, cleaning up around your fields, or even getting rid of unwanted hedges around the farm. At number 5, we have store deliveries. So this is a super handy mod to have, especially if you're playing on a map where you are far away from the shop. So how the mod works is if I want this to be my delivery point, I hit Alt, Shift and S simultaneously, and you'll get a little audio indicator that you have placed your delivery point. Now that we have placed our delivery point, we can head into the shop and choose what we want to buy. But keep in mind that the mod will add 2.5% on top of your total price as a delivery fee, and this can get quite spendy, especially when buying very expensive equipment. And there we go, our tractor has been delivered, and unfortunately the delivery price and the new vehicle's price overlap each other, so it is quite difficult to see what the delivery cost was, but that looked to be somewhere in the region of $1,700. So this can become quite expensive, especially when used on a regular basis. At number 4, we have enhanced vehicles. So this is an absolutely fantastic mod, and most of what is going on can be seen in the bottom right hand corner. So first up, we have in green the tractor damage in percentage value. Right of that, we have the amount of fuel that we are using per hour. Below that, we have the amount of fuel in our tank. Right of that, we have the total capacity of the fuel tank. So moving down and all the way to the left, you'll see a gray arrow pointing upwards, an arrow pointing downwards, and a dot in the middle. So this is an optional feature that you can use if you want to. I just prefer not to. But basically what it is you can select drive, reverse, or park. To the left of our speed, we have an RPM gauge, which you can see working there. And to the right, we have engine temperature in Celsius. Moving all the way down to the bottom, you'll see a little gray box that says 4.1T, total 4.1T. So the first value is the weight of the tractor that we are sitting in at the moment, which is 4.1 tons. The total weight would be the total of the tractor plus anything that we hook onto the tractor. Last but definitely not least is all the way in the bottom right hand corner. You'll see 4 wheels, 2 green dots and a gray line connecting them. This is the enhanced vehicle's 4-wheel drive and differential system, and it is absolutely fantastic. So the 2 green dots mean that my front and rear differentials are unlocked, and the gray bar means that I'm in 2-wheel drive. So if I hit my 4-wheel drive button, that'll go yellow, and that means I'm now in 4-wheel drive with both differentials unlocked. I can then hit my rear differential button, that'll go red, and that means I'm now in 4-wheel drive with rear differential locked. And I can do the same for the front, which means I am now in 4-wheel drive with front and rear differentials locked to give me absolute maximum traction. So the enhanced vehicles mod really does have a lot to offer, but to me the biggest feature is the 4-wheel drive system, which becomes especially noticeable when pulling implements up hills. At number 3, we have easy development controls, which is activated by pressing F11 when you have the mod installed. Within the mod, we have menus up here, which gives you different categories of things that you can change. The first one is general, the second one is your environment, the third one is player, the fourth one is your fields, and the fifth one is the current vehicle that you're sitting in. So for the sake of time, I'm not going to go through everything that is on offer, but just really the main things. You can pause the video and read the titles, and that should give you a good idea of what everything does. The main thing under general is probably going to be add and remove money, but there are some other interesting stuff like tip to ground or add bale, where you can select whatever you want in terms of bales. Let's say a straw square bale, hit that and you'll literally have a bale fall out of the sky, which is kind of nice. Under the environment tab, there's not too much going on. The two main ones is the set daytime and set weather type. The rest is really just reloads of environment and weather and so on. and display debug information. Under the player tab, there is a few things that I quite enjoy using and I find quite handy to use. One of which is the flight mode. That is quite handy to fly up and see your farm from a complete different view. The HUD state is very handy to have as well, where you can turn the HUD on and off. Super strength, that is quite fun, but also handy at times. And I'll show you that in a little bit. One of the most handy features on this tab is the extra timescale. So this adds an extra timescale beyond the 120 timescale that you get in the base game. This has got a minimum of 250 and a maximum of 4,000. Just a quick demonstration on the super strength. So this is a 4,000 liter straw bale, which I can lift and move around quite easily. I can also lift my tractor without too many issues, which is very handy when you get tractors or implements stuck. Another thing where this is handy is, for instance, over here, there's a bit of a gap there, and that is a lot of work to go grab a front loader just to do that. So nice and neat, real quick. Is it unrealistic? Absolutely, but it is quite handy if you want to use it or when you maybe need to use it. Over on the fields tab, I'm not going to go into too much detail, but on the left hand side is the field fruit and on the right hand side is the field ground. And basically you can set things like weed state, lime state, set spray, and your growth state, and so on. The final tab is the vehicles tab, and this allows you to do things like set the dirt amount on the vehicle that you are currently sat in and adjust the wear amount on the current vehicle, and things like delete all vehicles off the map and remove tire tracks off the map as well. So overall, the easy development controls mod, or easy development commands as it stands here, is a fantastic mod to have installed at all times. Whether you decide to use it or not is up to you. For me, it is a mod that I just keep in the background in case I run into a situation where I might just need something like super strength. At number 2, we have Unit Convert Lite. So this is definitely one of my favorite mods in Farming Simulator 19, as it adds quite a bit of realism to the game. What this does is it changes the default values of the game. If we head into our commodity price list, you'll see that most of our crops are now measured in bushels, and the prices displayed is price per bushel. If we move along, we will see that things like sugar beet is now measured in tons, and things like milk is now measured in gallons. What this mod also changes is if we hop into our tractor over here with our sprayer, you can see that we have our liquid fertilizer in the tank and it is measured in gallons. If we hop over into this tractor, we have a trailer full of silage and that is now measured in tons, or I can change that to pounds by hitting Shift and T. Another thing that this mod changes is when you are in a combine, your crop is displayed in bushels. But if we get moving, that changes to bushels per hectare or bushels per acre, depending on what you prefer. This mod also has some other small features available, one of which is it shows you how many hectares or acres you have been running in the session with a certain machine, which is sometimes handy, but for the most part just interesting and fun to keep an eye on. Unfortunately, at least at the time of recording, this mod has become very difficult to find. So there used to be a Facebook page where you can download it from, but I cannot find that page and it doesn't seem to exist anymore. The only thing I know about this mod is that the original creator goes by the name of Thunder. Because of this, I will unfortunately not be able to provide a download link for this specific mod in the description below, but if anyone knows where I can find the original download link for this, I would highly appreciate it if you can let me know in the comments below. And finally, we get to number 1. So this is definitely my favorite mod at the moment. It is also a fairly new mod, at least at the time of recording, and something that I feel should have been in the base game since the very start. So without any further ado, the mod that I thought deserved the number one spot on this list is none other than the Buy Used Equipment mod. So simply what this mod does is it adds this little condition tab for everything inside of the shop. This allows us to decide whether we want to buy a piece of equipment factory new or used. In this case, we will have a saving of $23,900 for buying used. Obviously, this number will vary from one piece of equipment to the next. So obviously the big benefit of buying used is the savings. The downfalls are that your equipment will be dirty when you collect them, so they will need a wash. If we jump into the tractor, we can see that this tractor is in quite a poor state of repair and in desperate need of a service, and also we have 5.2 hours on the clock. So as I mentioned earlier, I think that this is something that should have been included in the base game since the very start, as I don't think that there are that many farms around the world that would buy every single piece of equipment on that farm brand new. So that, ladies and gentlemen, was my top 10 mods you didn't know you needed, and please keep in mind that these are only my opinion, and if there are any mods that you feel should have been on the list, make sure to let me know in the comments below. Before we end of this video, I did promise you guys a bonus mod at the end, and the reason I kept this as a bonus mod is firstly, this isn't really a mod, it is more an app. And the second reason is it is not free. This is a paid app. I'm not going to go into too much detail on how this all works, but the app that I am running is called Sim Dashboard. If you want me to do a video on how to set it all up, make sure to let me know in the comments below. So I actually use Sim Dashboard for quite a few games, including Farming Simulator, American Truck Simulator, Flight Simulator, Euro Truck Simulator, as well as a whole host of racing games. Just to be clear, I am not sponsored or involved with Sim Dashboard in any way, shape or form. This is just my own opinion of an app that I've been using for quite some time now and absolutely loving it. So when farming, I have my tablet mounted to my desk to the right hand side of my steering wheel. On the left hand side of the screen, I have all of the information that I need while playing Farming Simulator 19, and the right hand side of the screen, I have a custom made button box with all of the buttons that I use on a frequent basis, and this just makes things a lot easier than trying to memorize buttons on the steering wheel or on the keyboard. So the layout that I have at the moment is not a template. There are some templates available. This, however, is a layout that I built completely from scratch to fit my needs while playing Farming Simulator. That is going to be a wrap on today's video. If you haven't subscribed already, please consider doing so. Also, if you found one or more mods in this list that you didn't know about but you're definitely going to be using in the future, make sure to let me know in the comments below or simply give me a thumbs up. But that's going to be it for me for today, guys. Thanks for watching and I will see you all next time.